First, we're going to hear from our president, Benita Nathan Sussman.
Welcome, and thank you for supporting our mission of rebuilding the Jewish people by supporting returning, emerging, and isolated Jewish groups around the world. Thank you to Molly, Joanne, Laura, and everyone who joined us today that are new and that are returning friends for being part of this new and exciting movement in Judaism that will change the course of Jewish history. On behalf of the Board of Kulanu and the 33 countries that we represent, thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much. That was our president, Benita Nathan Sussman. My name is Molly Levine, and I'm Kulanu's executive director. And I would like to thank all of you for being here today as part of our program. And I'd like to thank our American Sign Language interpreter, Susan Muller-Hershon, and our Ugandan Sign Language interpreter, Robert Ikuba, to help ensure that this program is accessible to all. I would also like to thank our sponsors for making today's program possible. Thank you to Hetty Cohen, Susan and Steve Goldberg, Karen Goldenberg, Jean I. Hoffman, Mary M. Osper, Rabbi Gerald and Bonnie Sussman, and Dr. Judith Topilo. Thank you so much for your support. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Laura Wetzler, Kulanu's Deaf Education Project Director. Laura Wetzler served as Kulanu's first coordinator for Uganda from 2002 to 2016. Laura worked with the Abayudaya community and generous Kulanu donors on over 60 different groundbreaking early development projects, including building and funding schools, facilitating fair trade organic coffee and vanilla exports, creating projects in crafts, agriculture, and business training, microfinance, tourism, and women's empowerment, and designing early water, electricity, sanitation, and health programs, as well as the first Abayudaya music and dance festivals. She has been working with the Abayudaya on the Deaf Education Project since 2008, and is a professional touring musician, speaker, and filmmaker by trade. Thank you so much, Laura, for all you do for Kulanu. It's truly a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you so much, Molly. Welcome, everybody. It's so great to see everyone here. I would like to thank Robert Ikoba for please translating our program for the children. Please translate the program for the children, Robert, okay? Okay, so first, let me tell you just a little bit about the program. The program is 15 years old. Some children were brought to us at Kulanu for assistance in education 15 years ago. And we started with 6 children. We found a school and we have been working with the program throughout this whole time, thanks to the support of generous donors who have helped us along the way. So what we're going to do today is get a chance to meet our team on the ground. We have a 3-person professional team on the ground. We're going to meet 2 of our students and a parent, one of our parent leaders. We're going to show you a short film, a 13-minute film that we created back in August. And because of the untimely loss of our dear Harriet Bograd, we have held on to it until today. And then I'm very happy to tell you that after the film, we will be able to update you on all the newest news from the program. Okay, so first let me introduce you to, please, Dr. Samson Wamani. Dr. Samson, could you stand and give a wave there? Dr. Samson Wamani is the director of our program. And we're very, very proud and honored. He takes care of all the medical assessments, works with an ENT to help support the health of the students. Thank you very, very much for, I should mention that all of our team are Abayudaya, who I have known for 21 years. So they have all been part of our Kulanu family for a long time. And so we're very, very delighted and honored that Dr. Samson Wamani is the director of this program. Then I'd like you to meet Miriam Mulabole. Miriam, if you could stand up so people could see you a little bit. Miriam is very important. She is the person who brought the children to us and facilitates and administers much of the program. She is from the area where most of the children come from, out in Namatumba. And so we are very grateful to Miriam for her constant hard work. And she just had a baby. So thank you particularly for being with us today, Miriam. And Joseph Kalema, if you could please show, Joseph Kalema is our one of our facilitators on the ground. Thank you so much, Joseph. He's a tech wizard. So we've got Dr. Romani, Miriam Mulabole, and Joseph Kalema, who are our professional team on the ground, okay? And once again, I'd like to ask Mr. Ikoba, if you would please translate what I am saying in the whole program today for the students, okay? So, and we have our two students here. First, I'd like you to meet Tamale, who is in primary 7. Nice to meet you, Tamale. And Robert, if you could translate into English anything. Robert, if you could translate into English anything the children want to share with us. Okay, Joseph, you have to unmute. I'm sorry. Joseph, you have to unmute on your side. Technical difficulties. Okay, you need to unmute. All right, there we go. Thank you. So Robert, if you could just translate into English for us. So thank you, Tamale. Good to see you.
You are welcome, please, madam.
Okay. And we have Iseza, who is in senior 4, and you will see her in our film as well. Hello, Iseza.
Hello, Madam Laura.
Okay, so we're all here. What we'd like to share with you right now is, and I encourage you to hang in with us for this 13-minute video that will give you a little bit of background and give you a feel for things that we're doing on the ground with our schools. Okay, so then we'll come back afterwards. We'll talk with everybody again, and we'll take some of your questions. Okay, thank you for your patience. And Mom, you would like to pick the film.
Deaf children in Uganda are one of the most marginalized groups of people who experience numerous obstacles as a result of their disabilities. Despite the Ugandan government inclusionary education policy, which was approved in 2008, most schools still refuse to enroll deaf children. Kulanu is recognized for supporting a deaf children education project in Mbale, a project that began in 2008 with 6 deaf youngsters and has grown to 8. 3 of them completed vocational training at Mbale School for the Deaf. 5 of them are still in school. Lukato Bernard and Namugabe Tamali attend Kavule Parents School for the Deaf in Budaka District, where they in Primary 3 and Primary 6 respectively. Mulobole Eseza, Njoba Henry, and Lukato Jacobo are all deaf students at Mbale School for the Deaf, where Mulobole Eseza and Njoba Henry are in Senior 3, where Lukato Jacobo is in the vocational department studying carpentry. Through a poem, the children expressed their gratitude to Kulanu for all of the assistance given to them for school. Hey, our dear sponsors. With joy praises to you. We feel so lucky to have found you. You are so kind and true. A lover to the hopeless. The time I was down, you lifted me up. When I was sad, you made me smile. Few words. Your tender love that is so wonderful. Hope that you give to children like us, the deaf. Valueful you name us. We praise you. In the past, the deaf used to cry and suffer. Education laws and the facilitation for us the deaf was not there. On the same note, even feeding. Right now, we have a voice. We are able to study to higher levels, and the professionals we hope to become. With your support, teachers we shall become. Doctors we shall become. And skills like tailoring we shall acquire. For God and my country.
I'm Sister Rose Nelima. I'm the head teacher of this institution, Mbale School for the Deaf. We started as secondary, but I'm happy we have upgraded to vocational level. So we are carrying out what we call a dual curriculum, and we are the only school in the country carrying out a dual curriculum. So senior 1, senior 2 to senior 3, they learn both secondary wing and vocational. By senior 3, they do the DIT. So by the time they finish senior 4, they are having 2 certificates. One of secondary senior 4, then the other one of vocational. So after senior 4, the child can do level 2 of DIT. And then those who go for A level continue, but they have a paper. So that even if they drop out of school, even if they are at home, they can be able to do something to earn a living for themselves.
Mulobole Eseza is my name. This is my sign name. I am aged 17. I come from Namutumba. I go to Mbale School for the Deaf. I am a deaf person. I am in senior 3. I am ready to learn, and thank you so much for supporting my education. A lot of thanks goes to my sister Laura and Mama. May God bless you. What do you want to become in the future? I want to become a nurse and a doctor. 2 things. Are you happy of having donors supporting your education? Yes, I'm happy and I love them so much. How was life before you joined the school? Life was just fair. My name is Njoba Henry. I'm ready to get the skills here at the deaf school.
We have Namukose Ruth and then Lukato Jacob. These are old students. They finished O-level and now they are in the vocational wing. Then now we have Henry and then we have Eseza who are in secondary. The challenge that we have with these children, many of them suffer what we call multiple conditions. A child is deaf but has other conditions.
Although Uganda has a number of schools for deaf children, the majority of parents cannot afford or support their children in deaf specialist schools due to poverty.
So if we get a community, a group that sacrifices to support them, we really thank them. So we want to thank the sponsors, the donors who are supporting the community, the Abayudaya community in Uganda, and also them, they extend that hand to see that they identify these children with disabilities and are able to come and they study here in Bio School for the Deaf.
My name is Kateu Doreen. I work as a social worker at Kavule Parent School for the Deaf. Kavule Parent School for Deaf started in 1998 with 8 pupils, and the school has now grown. We now currently have 80 children. The number would be high, but given that most of these children come from very poor families, they are unable to pay the school dues that are needed. And also given the pandemic, which hit us so hard, the parents are really finding it very hard. There are very many children at home, but they are unable to report to school. We also have a challenge of feeding. Given that the children do not pay, they pay peanuts. Also feeding becomes a problem. Majority are being helped by their parents. We have some very few, around maybe even 10. But given this pandemic, most sponsors have signed out. They are no longer supporting the children. Given that they also lost jobs, they are not working. So that is how we are currently standing. But most of them, it is the parents that contribute something small. We call upon Kulanu and other donors, well-wishers, to come in and support some of our children. And that is through child-to-child sponsorship, because that is key. If at least every child is provided for on a monthly basis, even if it is 50,000, even if it is 100,000, it can change a situation in the school.
Molobole Miriam, the project coordinator, says that the project has given these deaf youngsters hope. My name is Namukose Ruth. This is my sign name. I come from Namutumba. I go to Mbale School for the Deaf. I started from senior 1 up to senior 4. And I joined the course of hairdressing. I thank you all for the support and I'm grateful.
I'm Laura Miriam, the Deaf Education Project Coordinator, a project which is located in eastern Uganda in Mbale district. I request that you continue supporting this project so that the students who have not completed their education also complete and be like their friends. In addition, we have so many children in our villages there who are deaf and they cannot afford quality education like for the special needs. The parents are poor, they cannot afford those schools because they are expensive. So some of them end up going to government schools where they don't acquire education. Some of them drop in like primary 2, primary 3, primary 4 because they are bullied, they are mistreated. So others just stay to be at home, but when you look at the child, you see a future in that child. So if there is also any help which can be given to these children, it is my humble request that let's help and these children get what they can. In this project, we work as a team. I'm not alone. We work with Dr. Samson Wamani, who is the supervisor, and Kalema Yosef, who is a technical person. Thank you so much for your support, more especially Mama Harriet and Sister Laura, plus all the donors who have stood with us for the past 12 years to see that this project stands and these children still go to school. It has not been easy, but I'm so grateful that I've started producing. I have a carpenter, I have a hairdresser, and I have a tailor. I'm so grateful. Thank you for the great work. May God bless you.
Okay, thank you so much. What I want to say thank you to John Elijah Masiege, who was the filmmaker, and to Joseph Kalema, and to the entire team, and to the students who actually wrote most of the script. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed that film and gave you a little bit of a background of our program. What you should know is that this year we have, thanks to Miriam's letting us know the needs there, we have expanded our program to 13 children. So it has been a big reach to expand the program that much. And we have moved from the primary school that you saw in the film to an improved school. The parents found a school that they felt had stronger academic possibilities and stronger support. So we are now in a new primary school called Bishop West, which is 81 miles from the home village. Okay. And once again, I'm going to ask Mr. Ikoba, please, if you could translate the program for the students. Please translate the program for what I'm saying to the students, okay? Okay, so Joseph, if you could turn on the unmute, please, so we can speak with all of you. Great. Okay. So what I'd like to... Okay, so why don't we start? Let's say hello to Tamale, because Tamale is one of our primary students who...
Hello, Madam Laura.
One of our primary students who is just started in this brand new school. And we are very excited to hear, what does she think of her new school? What do you think, Tamale? Tell us what she thinks. She's a little shy.
Yeah, she's responding. At school, the things she do at school is studying.
Right. So what is her favorite thing about school?
Yeah, she likes reading the books and interacting with friends.
Ah, terrific. And Iseza. Hello to Iseza, who is in high school. You sure look great in that movie.
Yeah, at school, what I like most actually is studying, interacting with my friends, interacting with the teachers, to make sure that whatever they teach me, I understand.
So she is in senior 4, right?
Yes, she's in senior 4.
So if you could say one thing to our American friends about your education, what would you tell us?
I beg you to repeat the question.
Yeah,
The internet is.
if she could tell us one thing that has been so important in her education, what would it be?
Just one thing. In education, what was very important? Okay, something which has been very important in my education is the care and the relationship I have with the teachers, together with us, the deaf learners, that makes us understand better in class.
Well, we are always very grateful to teachers.
Yes, please.
So let's say hello to Mama Namakose. Mama Leah, how are you?
I'm fine.
So Mama, can you tell us a little bit about the differences that you see in the children who have, before they go to school and after they go to school? You know, children who have, this is their first year in school, right? Some of them. What is the difference between before a deaf child from your village goes and after?
Bali waka n'obabuuza ekibuuzo kipayiramu okuba otumudde ebityami ku walala neetya
So, the difference that I see between the deaf students before going to school and that of those who are already after school is that those who didn't go to school, they could feel shy. But after going to school, the shyness goes away and they gain the confidence.
Ah, fantastic. And so the children, the primary school, we had a bunch of primary school children who went for the first time. When they came home, what did they say to you?
kiki kyebakukobera kyebakuwayirako
Kulanu nga abantu b'enyinako abakajjabugi bayana. Enda wale mikubola kusawanira. Wekobo nti muna okwala ki ku isomero eyo. Soma ku bulungi.
Yeah, that now these ones who have just joined the primary setting, when they come back from school, you could ask them, what do you always do at school? Then they tell me that we learn how to revise and how to write in
So-
our books.
They're learning how to write in English as well as learning Ugandan Sign Language, right? So
Together with the sign language.
say again?
Yes.
Yeah, the learning of both English language and together with the sign language at the same time.
Now we understand that Christine Antono couldn't come because she is an athlete and is part of a school sports program.
Mm.
What sport does she play?
The game she plays is what? Netball.
Netball.
The game she plays is netball.
Cool, very cool. We're very
Yeah.
that she's part of a sports team at her new school. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Did Mama have more to say?
Well, right now, but for the national competition.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so I think maybe at this point, let's see, Molly, do we have some questions? We'll take some questions in the chat. Do people have questions for the team or the students or the mama?
Yes.
Mama Le-
We have one question that was just answered about the languages that are taught at the school, but a new question came in. Please tell us something about the children's Jewish education and Torah, Siddur, holiday celebrations, etc.
Okay, so I guess Miriam might be able to help us with this question. Miriam, can you tell us a little bit about the participation of the deaf students at the synagogues out in Namatumba?
Yes, they participate, like cleaning the synagogue, cleaning the seats, mopping, lighting the Shabbat candles, carrying the Torah and dressing it. They do participate in all those activities and so many others.
And all the holidays as well?
Yes, in holidays.
All the holidays as well. And hopefully,
Yeah.
as the students study English, they will be able to read from the Siddur.
Yes.
Yes, okay, great. All righty, any other questions? Do we have any other questions in the chat? Molly?
No, not yet. We do have one suggestion to try to get someone famous to help and promote. So if anyone knows anyone famous, let us know.
Absolutely. Okay, let's hear from Dr. Wamani. Doctor, can you tell us a little bit about the support that your medical team has been doing in terms of assessments and things you hope for in the future?
Thank you so much. The medical team here have been so supportive in trying to diagnose conditions which these children are presenting with. We have done thorough ophthalmologic examination, that is examining their eyes, their ears, to see that they do not have, some of these children have an inheritable disease called Usher's syndrome. where it's a progressive loss of sight over the years. So we have been trying to examine them annually to see if they are still good. And luckily enough, yes, most of them can still see, although they have issues with seeing in the evening, what we call night blindness. Yeah. So, but we are still there, but we as medical people think over time they are going to lose that sight. So it's very important that we give them skills of survival when they can still see, where they can improve their quality of life when they can still have those skills done. That's why we are trying to encourage all of them to be given that chance in education so they can get the skills in the vocational school where they can do things even when they don't have the sight, because already they cannot talk. So they need to do things by their hands, need this sight, these skills to survive. So we call upon every single well-wisher to help support these very brilliant children so that they can have a chance to live like any other child. Thank you, and thank you again for everyone who has given us every single support over the years. And we still know that we can do better. We can reach that milestone. You know, it can appear as if we are putting a drop in an ocean, but hey, oceans are made of small drops. Let's make that small drop and make these children have a sense of hope, a reason to smile. Thank you, and thank you again.
Thanks, Dr. Wamani. So it's true that some of the children do, in fact, are dealing with Usher syndrome as well. And some of our graduates who are in professions are managing very well. They have had some training in terms of dealing with losing sight as well. Yeah, we continue to work at all ends of both postgraduate and educational process. Any other questions, Molly?
Yes, we've received a few more questions that have come in. Is there signing during services so that the students can participate?
Unfortunately, we do not have many sign language interpreters in Uganda. They are very few. And so, no, at the moment, we do not have that any more than we have. Ideally, we would have it in every synagogue in the United States, but we do not have that yet either. Hopefully, in the future, that kind of inclusivity will be possible in all Jewish communities around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Molly?
The next question is about the students. Do any of them have plans going to college or university? What are their kind of next steps after the high school?
So, Robert, I think he says would like to go to college, right? Well, we whenever that is a possibility, we're going to be trying to pursue that. Robert, would you ask Iseza if she is thinking about trying to go to college?
Yeah, Esther is telling me that after her senior 4, when she passed senior 4, she wants to proceed to A level, that is senior 5. So that she continue with her line of education up to university. In case she fails to make it, she's telling me she wants to join at least vocation and get a skill for her own survival.
Terrific. All righty. And Joseph, we seem to be losing light in the room. Would you turn on any lights that you have? The room is getting darker. We're having trouble seeing folks, okay? I don't know if, I know it's rainy season there. Okay, do we have another question, Molly?
Yes, for the kids with multiple conditions, is there therapy provided for them, such as occupational therapy or physical therapy?
Well, we have so the vocational therapy, the vocational training at school is part of that process. We really need more money to be able to give the kind of support services that we would really like to be able to do with the community. The fact is, what we're able so far is to send them to boarding schools and support their health, follow them health-wise, but we would like, if we had the money, to be able to give many more supportive services.
Thank you. So the next question is, can you explain a bit more about the sign language used? It looks like there are quite a bit of ASL plus signed English, some local signs, and the sign language standardized throughout the deaf community and in all deaf schools.
So the history of Ugandan Sign Language can be looked up online. It is a language like so many others that draws from many different sources. British Sign Language, home signs. From what I understand in my own research on it, there were home signs that were taken from all over Uganda to help create Uganda Sign Language. There is some British Sign Language, some ASL. Robert, would you like to tell us a little bit about what you know about the history of Uganda Sign Language? Because some of our watchers today, viewers today, are noticing perhaps the difference between American Sign Language and Ugandan Sign Language. Can you tell us a little bit about what you know about the history of Uganda Sign Language?
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Laura. A brief history about Ugandan Sign Language is Ugandan Sign Language, we have three categories of signing within Uganda. We have the pure sign language grammar. We have Uganda signed English. Then we have Uganda signed exact English. The pure sign language grammar, for it, like if you are saying, I'm going to Kampala. In sign language, following the grammar, you start with like Kampala, me go. As you are signing in sign language, you say Kampala, me go. That is, you are following the grammar because it is the reverse of the statement in English phrases. Then signed English. Signed English, you have to sign each and every word. Like me, I am going to Kampala, each and every word. Even two, you have to sign it. And that one is the most hectic work. Then we have the signed exact language, sign language, signed the exact English. That one, when you are signing with the deaf, you are signing with the deaf clients. As you sign, you do total communication. Total communication is, as you are signing, you are engaging all, even the voices, even the body movements, and all the elements of sign language in it. And you follow word by word. So majorly, we have three beneficiaries. We have those ones, the deaf who were born purely deaf from the mother's womb. For them, they benefit from sign language grammar. Those ones who acquired deafness at a later age, they were born hearing, they benefit from signed English because they had already learned a language, maybe English language or in local language, spoken language, which has its grammar. So they follow the trend of the grammar of the spoken language they had learned at that age before becoming deaf. So when you are assigning that person, you have to follow the same way so that you make a person understand. Then we have those ones. We have those ones who attain deafness at a very later age, like when he's at an older age, because of the age, the too much age of the person, the hearing sense disappeared. So that person, you have to use the total communication. As you are saying, is also reading your mouth. The movement of the mouth together with the signs joins all them together and makes him or her understands.
Well, thank you so much, Robert. That was really, that explanation was really, really helpful. And it shows just how important it is that we have more sign language interpreters in Uganda and everywhere, really. It is such an important skill and very complicated, not so easy. So, Molly, another question?
Yes. How many of the students are Jewish Abayudaya and how many are not Jewish?
All of our students are Abayudaya, Jewish Abayudaya at the moment. Any other questions?
So there's a lot of talk now in the chat about donating. So I will put in a link to donate as well. And then we can continue on with more questions.
Okay.
Are there deaf-blind students enrolled? If so, are there specialized training in this? Are there specialists that are trained in this field who work with them?
Miriam, are any of our students deaf-blind at the moment?
No.
No. So at the moment, we do not have any deaf-blind students. But each the schools that we send the children to have units that also work with deaf-blind students.
Although our children are progressing to that level, because we have ushers in.
Right. Some of our children may have that progression. And we work with the schools to help prepare them for that possibility as well. Any other questions? Molly, we have any other questions?
There's a question about the school itself. How many of the students are Jewish and how many are not?
Okay, the schools have very small minority. We are a respected minority within both schools. These are, as you saw, the principal of the Mali School for the Deaf is a nun. These are not Jewish schools. These are schools where there are many different religions and backgrounds and ethnic backgrounds in the schools. Any other questions? Molly, do we have any other questions?
Yes, I'm reading. There's just a lot of excitement about donating and how, it's a very effective program. And we even have someone offering to send books out to anyone that donates over $100. So there's a lot of
That's what's going on out there. Okay. Well,
but yes, if anyone has any questions, I have someone that wants to know the sign for Uganda.
okay, Robert, can you tell us the sign for Uganda, please?
The sign for Uganda. How do you spell Uganda?
You've got the sign for Uganda is like this.
Okay.
It's letter. It is this letter. Then you like this.
Okay.
Is it the same in America?
Alrighty.
Uganda.
Okay. Cool.
And is that the same, Susan? How do you say Uganda? And we have another question about how often do the students get to go home?
So there are 3 terms at school, just like they are on the regular Ugandan academic year. So they're in school, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. They go home for 3 or 4 weeks, the usual kind of thing. What I'd like to share with you is that if any of you have contacts, we welcome any support from universities that specialize in deaf education. We would love to make a shidduch with, if anybody has contacts to Gallaudet, if anyone has contacts with strong deaf education programs in the United States, where we might be able to make a connection with our Ugandan community and our American community, that would be really, really helpful. If anybody has contacts with foundations that you think might help, again, we have 13 children every single year. For those of you who have already supported us, we want to thank you so much. But every single year, we have to start from zero. So if you know of a foundation who might be willing to make a multi-year commitment to our program. Now, our program, as we hope, envision, as we, at least in this coming year, we have not just the education, the boarding school education piece of it, which includes, you know, making sure that the kids have all the supplies and everything that they need. We have their medical support, which costs money. We also are beginning to institute workshops of training in the village for Ugandan Sign Language for the families of these children. As these children are in school learning Ugandan Sign Language and learning written English, the families and the entire community, in order to really support these children, we need family education. And that's part of what our program, we hope our program to be. But all of this costs money. I was so afraid, I was so scared when we expanded our program from 5 children to 13, as you can imagine, because every year we have to raise this money from scratch. And this is a long-term commitment that we have, because we want every single Abayudaya child who needs educational support, we're going to follow them for the next 10 years through school. Miriam, how old is our youngest child in our program now? 6, 5 or 6?
It's 4 years.
4 years, a 4-year-old in the program. Okay, so this is a long-term commitment we got here. I should tell you that we have a 12-year-old in our program who has never had any appropriate schooling, and he is picking it up, and he's doing. The kids are doing great in school, right, Miriam? This new school is really working out, right? You're happy with the new school, right? You know, so in order, it's not just the tuition and the books and it's the whole series of support that we are trying to bring to uplift this entire community. And I should tell you that when we do this, it changes everything around us, just like everything we've done in Kulanu. In my experience, I've worked primarily in Uganda on over 60 different programs. We do things that end up helping everybody around, because the parents become more aware. Oh, my deaf child can do things that I didn't realize they could do. What you should know is that in Uganda, many families do not realize the potential of children who are deaf, and these children never get appropriate education. That's why this is so vital. So when our kids come home from school and they're signing and they're you know, have dreams and hopes for the future, it changes the entire area that they live in, and helps the entire Ugandan community understand more fully the potential of these beautiful kids, these bright, smart, beautiful kids, that frequently these children are never sent to school. They're just working in the fields, and that's it. And so you're not just helping change this group of kids, their lives, these 13 kids, you're helping bring up the entire hope for the future for disabled, differently abled kids in Uganda. So, were there any final questions or words? Molly, anything from the group?
No final questions. Just a lot of great encouragement, and we even have a few people that have connections at universities, so we'll follow up with you. So thank you very much. A lot of good connections. You know, it really does take all of us. So thank you all for being here.
Yes, and thank you everybody in Uganda. Thank you, team. Thank you, students. Thank you, Robert. And thank you everybody for joining us today. We really appreciate your support. Bonnie?
Hey, hello. Wow. Wow. That's all I want to say is just wow. And thank you everybody for the magic that you are doing there. It's really an incredible and goosebumpy kind of feeling to listen to this. We have a little bit of a 2-minute video for the new people who may be online to see the bigger picture of what Kulanu does. We are in 33 countries and represent thousands and thousands of people. And we have a short little video that Molly has that she can put on the screen.
Thank you, everybody. See you again.
Thank you.
Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Oh, Davinu Chai, oh, Davinu Chai, oh, Davinu Chai, oh, Davinu.
Thanks again, everybody. It's been a great pleasure to be with you. If you're making donations, please put in the memo line. This is specifically for deaf education. Okay, if you're making donations for our program, and we look forward to updating you in the coming year about how the kids are doing at the new school and how things are going with the program. So thanks again.